الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهن 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا ذلك أمر الله أنزله إليكم ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويعظم له أجرا أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضاروهن لتضيقوا عليهن وإن كن أولات حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن فإن أرضعن لكم فآتوهن أجورهن وأتمروا بينكم بمعروف وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له أخرى لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها سيجعل الله بعد عسر يسرا وكأين من قرية عتت عتت عن أمر ربها ورسله فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا رسولا يتلو عليكم
As the gender war rages on, in order to keep the peace, we must discuss the exact facts. Welcome to EX-FAKTLY. I am your host, Saudi Mam. Remove your shoes and enter upon your right foot, upon the right state of mind. Topic: resetting the table. T.A.B.L.E. We spoke on this topic in part 1, so this will be part 2 with Mustafa Gordon. And we set the table, rightly so, not only talking about what is expected of women, but talking about what is expected of men. What is brought to the table. If you watch street interviews and women are asked, what do you bring to the table? Almost always the first thing they mention is viscosity, vagina. Then after that, they start to describe very masculine. They start to describe very masculine traits that they may have in regards to leadership and strength and so on and so forth. Things that we men are not requiring of women. And along with that goes income. So the question, what you bring to the table, all seriousness, no fable. If you're worthy, I'll be grateful. Just bring a temperament, non-hateful. Accommodating and faithful, be beautiful and I'll plate you. Stay loyal and I'll be loyal too. Be economic and I'll bank on you. This is indeed the table that is required of women. The table that is required of women. Temperament, affectionate, beauty, loyalty, and economic. In regards to the men, we labeled last time that man must bring T.A.B.L.E, toughness. He must be assertive. B, he must be banking, meaning he can maintain, provide. L is loving and affectionate, of course, and he's healthy and viral. E is efficient. He gets things done. He can be trusted to handle affairs, because after marriage, a man becomes a woman's wali, one who handles her affairs. So with that being laid out, we will try to at this time bring on Brother Mustafa Gordon, inshallah ta'ala, and see if we can get him on. Try to get him on, inshallah ta'ala. He's supposed to be in the green room. Let's see if we can get him in the house. Inshallah, Brother Mustafa, if you can hear, inshallah, we are seeking to bring you on. Nevertheless, again, when we are asking someone, what do you bring to the table? When women are asked, they generally go to some physical attributes. One such street interview was, I bring the booty. Another one said, I bring the wop. Other one said, I bring this, I bring that. Some attribute that is natural, some attribute that almost all women have, and it does not set you apart from other women. It does not set you apart. So the table must be set by men and women. When men are asked, what do you bring to the table? Then, the men would say, I bring leadership, I bring strength. They would name some matters that actually matter. And they won't necessarily go to, I bring, a phallus. This right here is sus. If a man would say, I bring a phallus, because all men bring a phallus, whether it functions or not. Contrary to popular opinion, if a man does not have a phallus, that means that there is some type of physical deficiency, this deformity. If a man doesn't have a phallus, that means that there was some type of accident, some chemical imbalance, so on and so forth. So this is not something that a man should list first and foremost. Because if a man had it removed, he would not be a woman. He would be a man with it mutilated or removed. And if a woman had one attached, would not be a man, but would be a woman with a deformity attached. So, with this being said, what makes a man is his role in society. What he brings to the table is his manhood and his manliness. A woman should bring her womanhood and womanliness to the table. Because if she does so, then that relationship has a higher chance of working. If she is seeking to bring what a man would bring to the table, then problematic. The brother, are you on Bluetooth? Yes, okay. Alhamdulillah, Mustafa Gordon has signed in, so I will no longer ramble.
That shit. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, Yaqi.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I hope you were not on your Bluetooth.
No.
Yeah, because sometimes the Bluetooth, it'll mute you, so on and so forth. Now, I'm on Wi-Fi right now, so if any problems, man, I'll take it. I hardwired all the way to my room edition in the back. Yes. And it for some reason, it didn't work. I don't understand what's going on. It didn't work. So maybe something's wrong with the cable. Yeah. So alhamdulillah, well, we're here, mashallah. So I set it up. I gave an intro. I hope you caught some of that.
Yes, I caught most of the intro where you was talking about it and not being a biased thing where, the women have things that they have to offer. And a lot of females would love to say they offer themselves, which is they're talking about their vaginal features
Yeah.
into the matter. And you broke down the lineup of what a man is supposed to have as far as firmness. He's also supposed to have means to take care.
Question. Did you catch my bars?
You always got the balls, and this
No,
is why the tape.
did you catch my bars, or shall I rebar?
Oh man, I
You,
would say rebar again so that
you
we
didn't
can.
catch my bars. My
I caught the
bars are
ball.
very important to me.
Ball.
My bars.
I-
Okay, so from the top, here are the bars. What you bring to the table. All seriousness, no fable. If you're worthy, I'll be grateful. Just bring a temperament non-hateful. Accommodating and faithful. Be beautiful and I'll plate you. Stay loyal, I'll be loyal too. Be economic and I'll bank on you. That's what a woman should bring. T.A.B.L.E.
Nam. And you know what? Now I'm going to give you the introduction so that a lot of our viewers don't think this is bias. Because I've been married twice, and I'm also currently in my third marriage.
Okay.
And the man
Rookie.
side of the yeah,
Rookie.
really. Yeah.
Rookie.
Past 2 years, I've been married twice, and I'm currently in a marriage.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And my marriage, my first two marriages, the male side of the table that you set up is a very strong point because my first marriage, I was just getting on my feet, meaning the job that I do now and everything. I was just learning how to go about that route to do schooling, to do this. But that marriage, I met a lady, and this was in a stage of me going through a jihad with Tagites. Those of us who don't know what Tagites is, those are people that love to be worshipped more than the creator of everything and think that the little bit of authority or position that they have make him into a ruler of everything, and they become like tyrants. So I was going to war with individuals like that. And I actually challenged the individuals that was doing that. And I said, okay, I'm free of what you are accusing me of. So now I'm going to give you the power that you claim that you have and want. You can sentence me to death. And I would deal with everything with my Lord. And they was afraid. They didn't know what to do. But I was serious. And they threw me into a mental institution. They said I had mental deficiency. And I so happened to met a sister there. And she was going through some struggles. And there.
Ooh, hey, hold on, bro, hold on.
Okay.
I can't support you. I can't support
Why
you.
you
I
can't?
because you know we do that. We do that. See, if we from the hood, if we from the mud,
Yeah.
we tend to look around in the mud. We tend to do that. So you were in the mud with the Tawarit, right? You in the mud with the Tawarit, and
Nah.
then you saw some pretty mud. You know, Muhammad Sallallahu he said, "Beware of the flower that grows from trash." Now, I'm not
Mm,
calling
I
ex-wife
know.
or current wife trash. I'm saying
Yeah.
that a lot of times, you'll see these pictures different times of the season. Now, in Texas, it's very popular. I don't know if it's popular where you are. They got these large sunflowers that grow.
Oh, nah, not.
Beautiful, beautiful sunflowers. They got the brown middle and the yellow long stems,
Oh, you
long
see
plant.
the.
Yeah. Okay. Then they have these things in Texas called blue bonnets. They grow off the side of the highway, and it'll be like a bed of beautiful blue bonnets off the highway, and people lay in them and take pictures.
Mm.
Mainly white folk, but I'm saying,
Oh,
they lay in there and take pictures with these blue bonnets and these. You know what? Those are weeds. Those are weeds.
wow.
Those are not flowers. Those are weeds. And Muhammad
Wow.
SAW told us, beware of the flower that grows from infertile soil. Because that thing that's growing where flowers usually don't grow, that's a weed, but they pretty.
All right. And
So
alhamdulillah.
continue. Continue.
Uh, You know what? Alhamdulillah. You know why? Because you're being what you're supposed to do. Like you making a just assessment. You're not
Yeah.
making an easier. You're making a just assessment. So yes, I did meet somebody in there, and this is a part of the table that my toughness, and also my toughness was becoming tough. But what anything in Islam, what does it have to be firm on first? You have to be firm on your Aqidah. You have to be firm on Tawheed. And at that point, I was just becoming firm in my Tawheed. So in your phrase, paraphrasing your lyrics, I was in the mud and I saw some clean mud and decided to try to mix my mud with that clean mud. So now, being that that was Islamic intention was conducted, meaning I spoke to the lady father, they spoke to me, and so forth. So now, mind you, I didn't have anything stable. All I had was Islam. And alhamdulillah, the Rasulullah always said, if you have nothing to offer, marriage, even if you give a stone ring or something, or even an ayah from the Quran, do it. But I did have some money saved up. I did have certain things that I wanted to be. So the marriage was conducted. And this was my first, this was very important into the Islamic community that I belong to. And it showed me some improvements. But now to the marriage factor of the thing is, I agree with your side where it says a man has to have financial ways to provide some stability. Even if the woman accepts it, it is your duty. You have to be firm. You have to be tough. You have to know how to put your relation. So that marriage, like you said, I'm really liking the phrase that you said was the mud. Because at that time, me growing, I had some ill feelings. But it actually, now that I recognize it, even her Amoo wasn't wrong in certain things that he was doing, even though it might have came off the wrong way.
Okay.
But now looking at it as being a man in my third marriage after I get to that part, because I'm about to hit you with the second half of my second marriage, why it didn't work, because I was still growing on becoming able to financially be stable to provide, to protect. Because you can educate. Education is something that is always a given. Because everything we do in life is an educational factor, and it's an Islamic right for a woman to learn from her husband. But everything we do in life is an educational factor. Yeah. But what about the providing? So that marriage dissolved. She wanted me back though, but the marriage dissolved. It dissolved too for me because I needed a peace of mind. I realized as a man, any real man that has some type of faith, you have faith in the law first, but then you have some type of faith in what you're created to do, what the law created us to do. Because he said he created a man not like the woman, a woman not like the man. If you have any faith in what you're supposed to do, you know that you can't even situate yourself to solely represent half your deen, which is marriage. And I'm learning, wow, why it is half your deen. So if you don't have all your tools and the major part of the tools, you can't have the minimal part of the tools and miss the major part of the tools. It's not going to work in your growth. It's not going to work with what you're supposed to be bringing to the table. So I never had those tools. I had the shed, but I didn't have any tools in it.
Okay.
So now, second part, I built up myself. I did trainings, did education. Everything was coming good. Working on the way to stability. But now the income and savings that I had depleted. That's another part. You can have something saved up, but it depletes. You have to have something to grow back in. So now I made myself, I have stat code to go on now. Now I have licenses. Now I had, and I always throughout all these education, I had here and there jobs, but they was not stable. It was here and there for the moment to handle certain things. I encountered another woman. This time it was kind of, like we both kind of reached out. Yes, she reached out to me. I knew her from before, from the Jalaliya days, the days of ignorance, kind of, so fully. So, after me understanding and learning a little bit from the first marriage, of course, the woman was, she pretended herself in a beautified way.
Yes.
Support. She would support me. I was going through certain mental angles because I told you I just went through a severe war with the Tagites, and they were still attacking. So I was already having a war with these people over here, and I'm fighting to stabilize my manhood so I could prepare myself to when it's time that I could have a family, have my own family, have a good marriage, have good children. So I wasn't going to even live with the woman because I remember I just lived with my ex-wife and her Amoo. But technically still going to war with these Tagites, still fighting my own jinn as well too. My own deficiency within myself to make my iman stronger in what I say and I'm acting upon that I believe in. So the lady encountered me, brought me into the thing. But once again, I didn't have the stability of a job yet, but I just got hired for the job. But what a law decreed happened. COVID happened. So that put a job on pause. And it also put another thing on pause because I was supposed to get hired to a different part of a company, but it needed clearance. And I never knew until just today like maybe probably like a couple weeks ago when I found out about another part, why there was a difficulty. Because in certain states, especially New York, when you're trying to go to certain higher level jobs, you have to really work with people that have special needs, disabilities, and stuff. If you had a conviction for anything, you have to wait 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the whole up. But COVID happened. So now I'm around a lady. She seeming temperament, sweet, supportive. She came. Oh, I've been in a mental institution twice before. When you go to war with these people, they'll once they try to put that on your jacket, they'll try everything under the sun to make you crazy. But you have to be tough and firm with them and let them know. I stand firm on what I believe in, and the truth shall prevail. So went through these battles. She was there. But when everything else started happening, it turned into, woo, I thought you was sweet. I thought you was good. I thought everything. Next thing you know, the dark side. It's still my fault. I shouldn't have it, but because I went to our appealing side. So that dissolved itself very bad. And it could have been a very ugly situation. Because remember, I just got introduced to my community. I was being around people was knowing me. And the slander that she done tried to make herself look like she was the saint of the world and ran my name through the mud. Some things horrible, despicable. Even to this day, I got certain documents I can't get back in certain things.
Well, a woman. I always mention. I say that Muhammad Sallam, he gave his wives permission to discuss even his intimate affairs underneath the covers because he was Rasulullah. He was Allah's messenger. So there was no aspect of his life that was off, you know,
Limit.
off
Yeah.
limit. Okay. So, but when it comes to us as, just regular Muslims, lay Muslims, what have you, even ulama, Alim's wife couldn't tell his intimate affairs. He's not the Rasul. So he
Now,
might make a mistake. Let's say they doing intimately halal and it slips, and he pokes her.
he's, oh,
Yeah. What happens is that can actually happen. You can slip out and you poke her. Especially in certain situations we have today. Where women are, they are. Uh, they have been around, the block, so to speak.
yeah. Yeah.
We
Pause
have
on
the
that.
meat.
Pause on that, right? You said it, right? They've been around the block. I just wanted to touch on that. And that's another thing when we encounters, virgins or people that never had sexual intimacy, their marriage is different than those of us that been around the block. Those of that can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you. Yeah, your audio still can't hear.
Arby's, we have the meat.
No. Hold on, let me go to Facebook. Hold up. Because I still can't hear this guy. Hold on, mom's side. Let me see. Hold on, we having some technical difficulty. I don't know. We still can't hear him. Hold on, we having some technical difficulty. I don't know. We still can't hear him. It's still up. It's still up. It's still up. It's still up. Hold on, we having some technical difficulties. I don't know. We still can't hear him. It's still up. It's still up. It's still up. It's still up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
This stupid thing muted me, bro.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it muted me without. So I apologize. No, man, I apologize for that. SubhanAllah. Let's continue. Continue, inshallah.
So you said something. You said for those of us that been around the block.
Okay.
Those of us that been around the block. Yeah, go ahead.
Continue. Now, let's say, Now I'm just talking about the intimate relationship between a man and his wife, a man and his wife. Okay, very intimate. I mentioned in another show that when Abu Bakr rose his hand, he raised his hand to strike Aisha, his daughter, radiallahu anha. She hid behind the Rasul, her husband, not as the messenger, but as her husband. Because another instance, Abu Bakr was angry with his daughter. She had her Muhammad's head was resting on her lap. He was taking a nap on her lap, and Abu Bakr popped her while Rasulullah's head was on her lap. So the father-daughter relationship is there. He's a lifetime wali, right? The husband
Now,
becomes the wali after marriage. Now, when Muhammad was conscious, woke, and Abu Bakr raised his hand to pop Aisha, you know, which tells us, this is okay, right? She hid behind the Rasul, which is beautiful, right? But a lot of women have been around the block. They have the Arby's and things like that. They've been through situations. So let's say you were inside of your wife in the halal spot and it slipped out and you poked her in the haram spot. So after you going through divorce, or after you separate, she goes around and say, yeah, he did this and that to me. That's not correct. Now when you said virgin, a lot of Western virgins have done the haram. They have done in the haram spot. And a lot of them do it in college. If they don't become they'll practice lesbianism in college so that they can say I was married. I was virgin when I married. No man has touched me, right? A lot of them practice the haram spot, anal, for lack of a better word. They practice that in college, and so they can say I was a virgin when. And a lot of this comes from a certain ethnicity, but this is actually a common practice. So when you say virgin in West, they may have known a man. They may have known a man, but go ahead, inshallah.
They had man, and you said a key factor, and this is a good factor, because just because we embrace Islam, we leave the ignorance behind. But those things that we practice in the Jalaliya that coincide with the Islam, we keep it, like the common sense. Like you just made a common sense point about doing the haram, doing the anal sex, but still portray that they're virgins in their vagina, which is halal. So that's a good factor. So with this one, I went through, it was a slander. It was a lot of things. And, like I said, introduction to the community. And what is Islam? The brotherhood holds and upholds each other. And I had two brothers that are elders in the community, of each one behind the other. I said, Ake, do you really care what people in China, to paraphrase what they said, do you really care what people in China think about you? Stay quiet, hold on to the rope of Allah, and don't respond. Kind of was hard. It's kind of hard when somebody is lying on you, running. But I held on to the rope of Allah. It's a funny joke, right? In the masjid that I go to, that the people around me that knew me, because last year during Ramadan, I was in the masjid. I wasn't even talking. You would have thought I was comatose. They have a joke. They say, you was on the ceiling, Aki. Make sure you don't get on the ceiling again, you heard? Well, that situation had its effects. And at the same time, it was a test. Because when Allah says that he prepares something good for you, he puts you through a test. He puts you through a trial. He puts you through a fitna. And I went through that fitna. I went through having something ready and set for me to be able to provide, to be able to be where I'm at now, in a position where I'm able to have a career. Not just a job, but have a career, and a career of giving dawah to people. And I was homeless for 2 days. I refused to go back to that lady house. My Umi never been involved in any of my relationships, and this lady had my Umi call me while I was in the masjid. Where I'm in the masjid. Next thing I get a call from, you in the masjid? You want to be in the masjid? You better come home. Well, I was getting bullied, but I had to remain silent. And alhamdulillah, I did. So that marriage dissolved itself. Even there was other things. I say she alleged something was in her room, but she probably did haram because the communication factor was not there. So now within there, that was last year, right after Ramadan, I had to gather myself together. And it so happened when I was about to quit, when you say a lot, when you remember, I was about to quit. I was about to collect. I was about to say, you know what, you people won. I'm going to say I have mental issues. I'm going to collect an SSI check. I'm going to take the bare minimum. Everybody won. I can't fight no more. And I get a phone call. Mustafa and Mustafa Gordon, you're hired. You did the hiring process already, the interview. All you have to do is do the intake, and you have a job. Just left from sleeping 2 days. I had a career, getting a steady income. People are like, yo, when you gonna get married? I'm like, man, I'm not thinking nothing about no marriage right now. I'm still trying to gather myself together, getting certain things together, because I'm making sure, as the lyrics you use, the table, making sure my table is straight, because I want to make sure I bring something. Now, I said I'm currently in a marriage, right? What happened? Minding my business, stacking this money, preparing my table. I get an invite from somebody, and the invite was weird because the invite comes in the form of social media. All my other marriages was still a community. One of them was introduced to social media, but it was still a form around my community. This was a happy anniversary. For those of you who don't know, happy birthday. March 16th. It was my birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Aki. And no pictures on the profile. See, talking. It sounded good. Sweet again. The dean is there. Oh, and you know I'm going to use this word for you. They attach themselves to Salafia.
Okay.
So now it was
Well,
beautiful
that
communicating,
doesn't mean
trying
you're
to.
perfect. That doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means you're going to heaven. It just means you're going to heaven.
I like that one. That's
Yeah.
right there. If y'all didn't, he said that don't mean you're perfect. That just means you might go to heaven because you're trying to
No, no,
practice
no,
something to.
no. You're going because everybody else is in the hellfire. somebody got to go to heaven.
Yo, you're a funny guy. so now I So I was engaging with this person, right? Well, mind you, I just told you, yo, I'm gonna say this, and it's sad to say, but this is not to detach anybody from social media. And I'm kind of learning this. Be careful of what you post on social media, because sometimes you have to wonder about people's intentions. And I say this to say that, right?
Yeah.
This lady that I'm married to come from wealth. She come from a family of Tagids,
Wow.
mother and father, sister, her. So now we talking, but then it was we communicate. Next thing you know, it was like, when you deal with a lady and you're actually intended to talk, or Wakil contacted me,
Yeah.
you're intended to talk, that's when all the financial problems start happening, even if they have wealth. Something happens or something get broken that they can't afford. And of course, if you're trying to be committed to a person, you have that, and you're trying to engage them in a marriage, what you're going to do as a man? You're going to assist them. And I did that. Next thing you know, a call came in that you needed something because you took on a responsibility, and I engaged a contract with you to handle something that even wasn't not the wedding gift, but it was something. And feelings like, you know what? I'm starting to feel like, yo, are you scamming me? What's up? What's going on here? Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? I don't want to get married to you. I don't want to get married to you. Next thing you know, it gets here comes a call from the Wakil, not the Wali, but the Wakil. This man has no blood relations to her. This is just a appointed member to protect her, handle her affairs until she's rightfully married. Here it comes, brother. Why are you asking her these questions and about the action? Why you don't want to marry her? And then all of a something happened with your daughter and your past husband. This is what was told to me.
Wow.
I'm a sympathetic human being. So I'm like, but still a lot of things is adding up. Long story short, now
See
why?
you gotta beware of the sad story, y'all. Now look. You're talking to Captain Saver 403.
Okay, so all right, so
I
you
used
want
to fly around and look for the worst situations. Who was married to a man that didn't maintain you? Who was married to a man that didn't protect you? Who have children that are orphaned, that the man is not taking care of financially? I'll take on those children. You know,
mm,
I used to be that dude. I'm
uh,
done, bruh. When the
I think
Kufar said no good deed goes unpunished, I did a show up, we did a podcast about that. It seems to be true, but we do things with our niyyah has ikhlas, our niyyah has purity, right?
nah,
And we do things for Allah's pleasure, but sometimes Doing the best thing gets you hurt the most. So we give the car away, and when you see it on the news in a high speed chase, they robbed a bank with it. That's not on you. Your intention was to give a car away. Okay.
Nah,
Uh,
nah,
and this is the problem. I no longer look for sisters like that. I don't do it anymore. I learned the hard way that a lot of times when somebody's in a bad situation, they deserve it. They,
nah.
they, they deserve it. So that sad story, miss me. I'm
Yeah.
like
So,
Barry Sanders
so,
now.
so
I'm like Barry Sanders with them sad stories now. Miss me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So the
Yeah.
sad story, the sad story, and a lot of other things. But you know what's crazy in the human nature, right? As I say this, you go with your instincts. My instincts is like it was confused. It was like, you know what? I'm wondering, but I'm falling into the tender care of the lady, the sweet, because I'm not a sucker for love, but I'm a sucker for you kicking that knowledge and making it sound good. And
Yeah.
maybe that's one of the things that I have to start deciphering. So we communicated more. I was, and we got married after. She seen my toxic side. That's another thing I like to say in the marriage. Yeah, we supposed to look for the beauty in a woman. We're supposed to look for the beauty in your significant other. The woman supposed to look for the beauty in the man. The man is supposed to look for the beauty in a woman. So when you do that, fine. But we've been around the block. Some of us outside of marriage, and some of us numerous marriages. But we've been around the block. We have experience. So now it's about, okay, I see you're attracted to me. But I need to know what toxic side you have. What flaws do you have? Because I need to know what I'm going to be prepared to handle. I don't
Hold on.
need to.
You know what though? Look, now your brother Matik McCall, I call him
Yeah.
your brother because this is where he goes on your brother's side, not my brother's side. He talking about I want a hood chick that got a little ratchet, that got a this. I say that's because you're young. When you grow up a little bit, you're gonna get tired of that really, really, really fast. I'm saying you're gonna get tired of that really, really fast. Now, we I'm okay. Out of all arrogance, okay, straight
Yeah.
fapper, I would say to a woman that been married 7 times, got 7 kids. She say, "Well, it don't bother you. I've been married 7 times, and got 7 kids." I used to say, all that was practice. I say, with me, you're gonna be brand new. All that was just practice, and I'll make
Mm.
them feel like what they had before me didn't matter. But the problem is, even though that's my intention to make them feel like whatever mistakes they made in the past, super Negro here now. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
would I would want them to feel like that. But in reality, if those 7 men cheated and she suspected I cheated, that's called 8. See, I don't go back to 0. I gave her the reset. I say be brand new. Even though
Yeah.
you have
Arby's, we have the
I'm
meats.
saying, even though you have Arby's, you know, I'm willing to deal with that. I'm willing to deal with your Arby's. You know what I'm saying? It's not as elastic as it used to be. It's not as, whopped as it used to be. But we gonna deal with it. I'm gonna make you feel brand new. You gonna be my baby. Like Boosie say, my little yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Now that.
this is the way we think. But
Yeah.
in reality, you're dealing with a scarred, jaded, vindictive individual.
I said that in one of
They
my
tell
songs,
their they
right?
tell their friends. They tell their friends, yeah. Ain't no man ever gone. Man, you ain't had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But you come
Yo,
in, you fall right in
yo,
line.
I had a quote in one of my songs when I was vetting, because this marriage that I'm in, it made me go to my alter ego. Swaggy Aki comes out a lot more. Where I said, past relations break up, present relations break up, because past relations didn't make up, and present relations break up.
Yeah.
Meaning, you didn't conquer your past relations. You didn't have no closure. And you bring this baggage over. And here it is. This is what I'm going through exactly right now. All the arguments in my marriage, after I got past whether you was trying to scam, all my arguments now, when we keep getting past go, becomes with the ex.
Some
You
think
have a
it's
child.
time. Some think time. Oh, she didn't give enough time before after her last relationship.
Or they didn't.
or he didn't give
Yes.
enough time after his. No, it's not time. You got to change your mentality.
No, they had 2 years separated, right? But she didn't close this door in 2 years. Why? Because you were still receiving whatever gifts she was receiving. You were still having communications outside of your daughter, and you were still making them think that there's room for him to come through. And intermediate, because I'm letting you do all the hadiths in Quran today. So let me throw one hadith from Quran in there now that is suitable for this topic, right? And I'm paraphrasing it, but there was a hadith that a sister, she got divorced, married a brother. And she went to the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, yo, he's incompetent, he's not this, he can't perform sexually, he can't bear any children. So the brother had kids that looked like him. And the Rasulullah made a deduction. So he said, those are his kids? Yes. Look like him? Oh, so it looked like he's not able to function. That you married him so that you could divorce him and get back with your husband, because you can't get back with your husband until you remarry again. And these factors sometimes, because this is a legal marriage too, especially if the husband that you remarry knows that this is what you're trying to do. This is especially a legal form of marriage, because we have illegal marriages that happens out there that people use. So you're right on that factor. But all of that to lead into what's going on in a marital situation, every argument we have is because of your ex. But okay, at one point, trying to say it wasn't you, but it is you now, because you reached out to me. Now, if me as a man, this is where you say as a man, as a leader, as a temperament, as a person that is supposed to be enforcing, is supposed to protect, is supposed to lead. If I had reached out to you to contract a marriage, everything that I'm going through, who would I have to blame? Me. But I didn't reach out to you. You reached out to me. And I asked her this numerous times. Why did you reach out? To where this marriage is going crazy, because now, the first time we consummated, guess what happens?
Boom.
Low Akbar, right? There's a child involved. Boom.
Yeah. Boom.
First time we marriage.
You know, I got trapped. Mashallah, she had a beautiful baby boy. I got trapped. I thought she was on birth control, bro. I was free and willy. And I thought she was on birth control. Next thing you know, she said, I'm pregnant. And I said, mashallah, I was happy because I love children. I was happy. But we hadn't reached the point where I known her. I didn't know her. And I always advise brothers, I say, wait on the sex, wait on it, date, go out, enjoy each other, wait on the consummation. They say, bro, that's not sooner. I say, okay. Keep following what you think is sooner.
Hold on. Yes, it is. Proof. Aisha radiallahu anha. How long did her and the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam waited to consummate?
Like 3 years. Like 3 years.
Soon.
Yeah.
How much wives, even though this one is attributed to him, but how much wives this one is attributed to his prophecy, though, the rest that I'm about to say, but it's sooner. How many wives he had that he never consummated the marriage? Because it was actually a marriage done for his prophecy, meaning
Soda, some debate whether or not Aisha was after Khadija anha or Soda anhum. Okay, they debate who was next, but he married Soda, who one of his friends died in jihad, peace be with him, and he married Soda. She was elderly and had children, and so he wanted to make sure she was protected as a favor to his friend.
Abu Bakr, I think Abu Bakr, one of the Rasulullah companions, because this is where now narrations of a full story come together, and then you nip all the differentiation in the butt. He was intended to marry Aisha radiallahu anha in one narration, but what happened? Rasulullah has children, and they said, Rasulullah, you have children, and Aisha doesn't, and you need someone to be able to raise your children. That's where part comes in. And this is everything else comes together. Narrate. So that's what happened with that. So
did you feel trapped when you heard about the pregnancy?
Honestly,
you
I
feel
was.
like there was some deception?
I can't say it was no deception. You know why, Shake? We
Okay.
made dua after, because we didn't consummate our marriage until after a week after we got married.
Okay.
So he had the conversation with me, and I was learning the dua of what you're supposed to say to have a pious child for
Yeah.
you when you spouse. So we practiced this thing.
Okay.
I can't say that I felt trapped. She might have felt that she felt trapped because she sincerely one. I believe she honestly now, because even last night I was just going through a trial. It's going through the my umi never been involved in none of my relation. Only time my umi, especially Islamically, Jalalia,
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah.
The devil in the Jalalia, according in a paraphrase way of saying it. But my umi was never in none of my Islamic relationships like that. And the only time was that one time where she called me and asked me where I was at, and I was like in the masjid. Last night I sat on the phone with my umi and my wife.
Mm.
Me and my umi, and this is why I say marriages. I'm learning this test of why this is half your deen. My umi and my umi is not the type that, oh, Mustafa, oh, how's everything going? I never had that type of relation. My umi was very secretive in a way and was a stern Jamaican. You're gonna bust your butt open and I'll buy you something new and I'll buy you this and I'm gonna embarrass you in front of your friends, and that's how it's gonna be. So at the same time, she was telling me a life story while my wife was on the phone going through. And oh yeah, I'm not one of those persons that maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. Allah knows best. I don't bite my tongue. I try to rephrase things to be delicate, but I don't bite my tongue. So I told him, I said, that's the problem though with you, because they almost try to have a woman phase on me. Not to sound sexist, but they try to have a woman phase where I was like, this is the problem with you, woman. You want to keep on going on because it was something that happened in my life where numerous that I told my umi, my wife knows about it, but then they try to, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. And I said, hold on. Yes, I did. And when an 8-year-old child, what is an 8-year-old child supposed to say if he's already suffering through his own and he's already in his own shell? So I had to tell him, this is the problem with you, woman. Somebody tells you something, somebody shows you something, but you're so too caught up on your own hurt and your own, you always thinking about this, but you're not thinking about the reality in the presence. But you always want to blame the man, and the man is giving you the solution. Like you just said, you told him that I want you to start fresh. I want you to be able to feel comfortable. Don't worry about them 7. Let's build what we need to build. But you still worrying about them 7. So if you worrying about them past 7s, well, straighten out that past 7 before you come on over here. So we had a long story, and then, oh man, best way to cover my wife's sin, right? At the end of the phone conversation, you know who became belligerent? Me. Not in a bad way. A confession was made again. And a confession of you handled an affair pertaining to your daughter with somebody that you had no business being around. I don't care if we was arguing to the thick of the thin or whatever the case may be. You could even contact the brother that married us and be like, whoop, whoop, whoop. While there's already suspicions of other things going on, because to try to make me feel jealous. You know, that this the quote that I was told by my wife when she tried to press me about somebody commented on one of my Facebook posts that I had no intention to deal with. You straight abandoned your Islam. You went to Kafirhood, but you're on my page and you do social podcasts like we do. Oh, the wife is supposed to have some jealousy for her husband. Okay, you have some jealousy, but listen, sweetheart, I'm a man. You're not going to come over here and tell me what I'm doing and accuse me and start argument. Why are you still over there? Didn't close your past ties. I'm doing my duty. I brought everything to the table. I provided. I taught. I showed your kids Islam. Your niece and nephews embraced Islam when I gave them the Shahada. Your cousin took Shahada under me. You got way more than your agreed maintenance because I'm a man and I provide for something to care. But I'm getting not close to near half my rights to me. And I've been getting headaches and headaches and headaches. And now I have to
You
speculate
know,
what.
I want to mention one thing.
Yes.
How she's checking you. She's checking you on some Facebook stuff or
Mm,
some social media stuff. Uh, Muhammad Sallam described uh, wifehood. He said, "Your wives are like prisoners under your care, so treat them kindly." Now, let's talk about prison. Prison, we both know it, right? Prison,
Mm-hmm.
your movements are limited, but you're alive. You still get food and drink. You're still alive, but your movements are limited. When a man marries a woman, when a woman marries a man, the movements are limited, but more so for the woman because she's the creature of protection. Okay? Uh, a man is moving, right? And as long as he's maintaining his duty to her of maintenance and protection, he's fulfilling his side of the contract. A woman has no right to check a man. I don't care about them saying sexist, narcissistic, what I don't care about none. Messiah, I don't care about none of that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a
True.
woman has no right to check a man. If a child checks their parents, man, I'm tired of you coming in my room without knocking. Boy,
Bingo.
girl, I pay the bills. You understand? It's the
Bingo.
same relationship. Muhammad SAW said they're like prisoners under your care, so treat them kindly. But that when I mean, I'm a different kind of prisoner. I was a different kind of inmate. I used to check the officers. but 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 in the structure, of prison, you're not supposed to check them. I used to check them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They slammed my Muslim brother on his head one time. I said, I dare you to slam me on my head. I was the imam. We would have rolled that prison up. Me and my brothers would have rolled that prison up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they would have had to dress like Ninja Turtles coming up in there. You know what I'm saying? So the point is, like, a woman has no reason or no authority to check a man. Check him. Is he making maintenance? Check him on that. Check him. I don't feel protected. Check him on that. But you have no right to go in his social media. And there are many shayuk that talked about how haram it is for a woman to go on your phone and things like that. That's not your duty. He has a social contract with you. If he's trying to make a contract with somebody else, don't have anything to do with that. I'm gonna share something with you. I hired a woman from Costa Rica named Wendy. Okay, she was my best worker. I had a bunch of I had brothers working for me. One brother from Bangladesh, brothers from America, black, white. I had people working for me, right? And Wendy was my hardest worker. I didn't have to tell her to clean up the job site. She was on it. You know what I'm saying? So, and she was, what do I do now? What do I do now? People be trying to hide so they ain't got to work, right? So on a construction site. So Wendy was one of my best workers. So I told this Muslim sister, I said, hey, can you give dawah to Wendy? She's asking me about Islam. She sees the way I live and how I relate to her and how I relate to my employees and Muslim brothers and non-Muslim brothers. So she like, I want to find out what that is you're on, what that Islam is. So I tell her some things, but I wanted a sister to actually sit down with her and discuss hijab and stuff like that, right? So the sisters had a halakha later on. Now, I told the sister, here's Wendy's number, contact her because she has Jehovah Witness neighbors that are knocking her door, trying to give her that Jehovah shirt, right? So week passed. Wendy comes to work. I say, did sister such and such contact you? No, she hadn't contacted me yet. I said, oh, you sure? So when I finally, I was supposed to talk to the sister on a certain day, but the sisters had a halakha at her house the day prior to that weekend, Friday after Jummah. My wife walks in. And says, oh, the sister tell my wife, can you tell me something about Wendy? Remember, she don't call the woman. She don't give her dawah or nothing. Don't even make an effort to dial the phone number. My wife walks in. She asks my wife a week later, tell me something about Wendy. You should have been asking Wendy about Wendy. My wife said, who's Wendy? Oh, it's one of your husband's employees. You see how messy that is?
Yeah.
It's messy. Okay, so she says, employee? My wife called me, my ex-wife now, of course. She called me talking about trying to check me, yo. Talking about,
wow,
you didn't tell me you hired a woman. I say, listen, I run my business. You understand? I say, if I own a McDonald's, you think I'm going to run every female application by you? I said, you got me messed up. Wendy makes me money. She's my best employee and she makes me money. I say, who are you to check me? You don't know nothing about construction. You don't know how to use a sledgehammer. You don't know how to use a regular hammer. You don't know how to use a screwdriver.
Yo.
I'm saying, so don't tell me about I had to check her for checking me. I'm like, and then I contact the sister. I say, look, don't bother contacting Wendy because you're messy. You couldn't wait to get with my wife on that halakha day a week later after I gave you the woman's phone number. You couldn't wait to start mess. And that
And
is
then
the issue. A woman should not be checking a man. Are you getting your maintenance? Let's argue that. Oh, let's
that's
argue protection. But
I
don't be
have
checking me.
you know what's crazy, right? I have a friend and he does what he does. And he told me one time, he said he had to be like, yo, I'm gonna have to short you this week because I have to take care of something out. But he handles all his details.
Okay.
Tell a woman, and the wife is supposed to be compassionate. The man is handling all his affairs. The man is busting his chops. And you got the bare minimum. You got a roof over your head. You have clothes on your back. The rent is paid. But just because this week, because he has to sacrifice, because he needs to be able to go where he needs to handle whatever he needs to. All right, babe, you're not going to be able to get the full maintenance. You're going to be able to get this amount, maybe half, maybe 25%, but you get it on the next go around. No. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. But let's say this. You're supposed to sexually please your man, your husband. He's taking care of the household. Oh, baby, my leg hurt. If I say I don't want to hear your leg hurt right now, what your leg got to do with your vagina? Is your vagina hurting?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. We can't say no, we don't want that. Now it's a problem. And this is what it needs to be. You could check on the maintenance, but let's be considerate.
Yeah.
Because what did the Rasulullah says? He said the majority of people in the hellfire he saw were the women. Why? Because in a paraphrase of it, they are ungrateful to their husband. As soon as he do something, one thing that they dislike, and it may not even be that major, they go to this marketplace, they go to this family member, they go to this place, and they talk bad like you never did nothing good, like you was in the most horrendous relationship, like you was tormenting them, like you was doing everything under the sun. And this happened in Muslims and non-Muslim relationship because I was not born in the Islam. I was raised in the Jalaliya. I was born upon fitra, natural Tawheed, but I was raised in the Jalaliya. And I seen that happen in the Jalaliya. You have girlfriends or whatever, a chick that you're screwing and you're close. And what happened? As soon as she don't like something, you find out from family members. She's telling all types of lies and slander on you.
Yeah.
So this is why they end up in the hellfire. And the current situation that I appreciated you being a good backbone because this is your show. Because you told me, we had the discussion. I couldn't leave you in the dark. I said, I'm going to talk about my previous things of my marriages because I wanted to co-side what you said. A man has to have his things together because people may think that this is a one-sided topic or just because there's two brothers on here. I'm pretty sure you are open to, if a female want to talk about what she brings to the table other than vagina, she can come on to this show. We open the door.
I'm interested in having a regular co-host to give the balance. Because I'm going to talk about it from the man perspective and from the Islamic perspective. And sometimes when you talk from a man perspective and the Islamic perspective, the women don't feel represented. There's no female prophet. There's no pink Quran. There's no female Quran. There's no female perspective.
Hold on one second, because I got the pad up, right? And
Okay.
this is the ignorance that we talk about because I'm watching the live. And I'm believing it's a brother. And he says this, and this is what some men do that cause differentiation. The person is going to put, these use that same hadith to manipulate women. But isn't there going to be more women in paradise also?
Yeah.
And you understand? I don't know what they're trying to anyway. Are you trying to contradict the hadith or what the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says? We're trying to use this as an example. We're not being tyrants here. We're fair and we're just.
In this hadith, Muhammad sallallahu wasn't talking about paradise. He was talking about hell. And he even gave the reason. He gave the illah. It's called the illah, the reason to be. He gave the reason to be why these women are in hell. Because they're ungrateful to their husbands. Okay? Aisha al-Anha reported there was not oil on many nights to even light a lamp. Okay? In the home of the Rasul. Rasul used to come home and say, is there any food? She said, Ya Rasulullah, we don't have any food. He said, then I'm fasting. See, women today would have divorced the Rasul because they don't care about his deen. They care about the dinar, not the deen. See, this is what we're dealing with. Okay, this is what we're
Nah,
dealing with. So now it's very beta to bring up that most women are in paradise. It's very beta. It's really simpish. I'm not saying the brothers are simp. I'm not saying the brothers beta. I'm saying it's beta to
yeah,
bring
but
that up because the women
point.
usually bring that up. The women usually bring that up. Muhammad SAW gave the illah, the reason to be why the women went into hellfire. That is the lesson of the hadith. The lesson of the hadith. Oh, it's okay to be ungrateful to your husband because most of y'all gonna be in heaven. It's astaghfirullah. Come on, bro. That's not even a
Yeah,
balance.
and I'm glad because I had to bring that up because as you say, it's very simple. It's like my thing, right? And as I'm learning, because I'm a baby into this Islam. Okay, we understand the hadith, mashallah. I'm a baby in this Islam. 2017 was when I was going through my first year. I had enough to learn the correct Islam. In 2018 is when I came out from the prison system and actually practiced the correct Islam physically. And under what is stated upon. So now you have a lot of individuals and men too that we're gonna use the word simpish or they're too pampered. Yes, we're supposed to be loving. We're supposed to be catering to women. Yeah, we're supposed to be understanding to their needs. That's an understandability. Well, we're not supposed to deflect our manhood when we're doing the right thing and let them just overramp. Allah says this as well. The trial for Bani Israel, the trial for the children of Israel, one of their greatest trial was women. One of their greatest trials was women. We see what's going on now. That was revelation before the Quran. And then here it is revelation still happening. It confirmed it in the Quran, and we see it happening in our time now. The trial is the woman. Not saying that they're bad, but it's a trial. Just because something is a trial don't mean that it has to have a negative impact, but you have a negative situation you may go through, but now you have to hold forth and fight through this struggle. You have to fight
But you
through
know
this.
what though? Uh, the trial, okay? The trial is from Allah Ta'ala, and Allah
Now,
tests. He tests the iman of His creation. Allah says He will not leave you alone to say we believe and not be tested. Just as the Anbiya, the prophets, and those that believe with them before cried, when will come the help of Allah? Verily, the help of Allah is near. This is a test, and it's cyclical. It happens in waves. So, a woman being a trial, Allah Ta'ala calls them the zina of this dunya. Allah Ta'ala says, of the zina that men covet, of the treasures of this world that men covet. Allah says, number one, what? Women. So you are a trial for us, not negatively. You are a trial because we want you so bad. And we'll do the most simpish, stuff to have you. Okay. Look, I'm an old trick. When I was 16, 17 working at McDonald's, bro, I used to go to a place called Piercing Pagoda. It was a kiosk inside of a mall. I used to go there and buy rings, bro. When I got a new girlfriend, I would go buy her a ring. I didn't recycle rings with women. I would buy them a brand new ring when I got a new girlfriend. I bought these promise rings. These people knew me so well. They said, "Oh, here come the young trick." You know what I'm saying? I would walk in and I would buy a promise ring for my new girlfriend, right? And if I had more than one girlfriend, I'd buy more than one ring. And that's how it used to work. So women being a trial, bruh, you know how much money I tricked off? Bruh, I was so happy with my Moroccan wife. I used to give her father an allowance. That's how much I loved her, right? I used to give her father an allowance. I know he wasn't
well,
making as much money as I was giving him of sadaqah.
hey, my stepkids get a lot of stuff from me. Listen, I'm
Yeah.
doing without. I'm giving to them. Hey, and you know what it is? And part of this, what I said, and I said this to my wife on the phone with my Umi on the phone, right? I said, listen, we would have had everything okay right now. We probably would go through this. Allah decreed this, though, but we wouldn't be going through this if you had just been obedient and stop trying to nag me. You would have got everything else in the world you needed. And I wouldn't even be worried about the sexual factor like that. But you would have got everything. But you want to keep nagging me and you want to act like you're the man. If you wanted somebody that you want to run over with and you want to act like just because you have money like Khadijah, radiallahu anha, then you should have went and got with a simp. I'm not a man negotiate. I'm firm under this. And it might sound funny. It might sound toxic to you. But I only need two things from a woman. Good conversation and good box. And within that good conversation, you better be talking about some Dean. And I prefer the box. Being honest.
Okay, now you want good box, but what if?
Arby's, we have the meats.
I'm saying, if we simping out here, listen,
Okay.
if the box is good and then she got good conversation, listen, baby. Oh, you need an extra 300 out the maintenance? She's getting it. You need an extra bank card, baby? She's getting it. I'm just saying.
Well, you know, that's just as you have some women, they'll use, I guess, box is a good term. They'll use the box to manipulate. Oh, if I don't get this, you're not gonna get this. That's not their right. The box is your right. Yeah, maintenance and protection. But no, hold on. The other
Box.
side. The other side is this.
You ain't getting nothing.
The other side is this: that they can put ribbons on the box, you know, decorate the box. They can stuff the box with a lot of prizes, you know, and stuff like that to get more from you. But basic box is your duty. You know what I'm saying? The problem is like Brother Matik said, when he'll ask women, he said, I'll ask women, what do you offer besides WAP and somebody else's children? You know? Yeah. And a lot of them, they can't answer that question beyond that. Well, children are a blessing, and children are a blessing. Okay, well, that dude or those dudes that gave you their DNA should see that blessing. I'm saying before I see that blessing, they have more right. A lot of times, like in my situation with the woman in Georgia who I thought was on birth control, I don't get to see my kid. You know, I don't get to see my kid, so on and so forth. So, but guess what? I'm being called a deadbeat. I have a block. I don't see it, but sometimes people send me screenshots. I'm being called a deadbeat. You know, hey, I qualify for Dad of the Year sometimes, and I'm being called a deadbeat.
I met you. I'm gonna say this, Matik. You know your brother. He's your brother right now. Matik said y'all bugging. I'm not taking care of no one family like that. And I guess he's talking about you, Allahu Alam. He says his old self would have been under her care in a nursing home. Yeah, he's talking about her pops would have been under the care in a nursing home. This is what Matik is saying.
Okay.
So,
I mean, bro, you know, I went to Morocco. I made sure I did not marry from Dar Beta, Casablanca. I made sure I didn't marry from any place that was near the ocean that you could look across and see Europe. Because those Muslims think they think that they're white folk. Okay, so I made sure I made sure the family was poor because my intention was to take care of my wife, of course, bring her here, and to give sadaqah to her family. That was my give back. That was my intent. I told you, boy, I'm an old school trick. But I'm in recovery now. I'm in recovery.
Hey, listen, we're going to call it you a dawah giver. Give that dawah in the dinar if you can as well. Dawah in the dinar.
Yeah,
that's the new quote.
I quit.
Dawah in the dinar. So,
I finished my remodel on the room that my wife said she wanted. I finished the remodel finally. I stopped giving so much. I mean, really, bro, I start putting charity at home. I mean, they say charity starts at home, right? Which is a very Islamic statement. I started giving back to my home and my family, and it's been better for me, bro. MashaAllah, it's been better.
You know, and I say this too, right? Because as much as I'm going through this, right? And I'm going to close this out on the last of my marriage that I'm going through right now, right? We was in a group together, right? And I posted, let me tell you, individuals, right? Society. Non-Muslim, Muslim society, what Allah created, have a misconception that men are not supposed to vent, that men are not supposed to have feelings, that men are not supposed to have emotions, that men are not supposed to talk. And also, the society in the Muslim world, in the Muslim community, have a twisted identity that we Muslims don't have problems, and us as Muslims, yes, we seek solely on the guidance from Allah. We ask Allah for His guidance, and we try our best to be patient, but we're human beings. They think that we're not supposed to address our problems, and majority, if it's in a public platform or social media, you try to be indirect about handling your problems and seek their advice. Like prime example, I'm gonna ask you, right? When remember when I called you on the phone and let you know the idea of why did I bring up the table part two, and I said, remember I was about my current marriage, but I was talking to you about it indirectly even before we got married. What did you say? You said I didn't even know that was you until I told you the other day on the phone that I was talking about. So the twisted society is that they have an ideology that men are not supposed to vent, but then right, and may Allah protect us from that. May Allah protect the society from this. But if a man now don't vent and sit here and he's going through some heinous things and it's pushing his pressure point, but then when a man explode and he do something heinous to his family, or he got there and do something heinous and horrible, this, that, and the third, they gonna run that brother through the name in his mud. But when he's trying to actually let the stress out and get advice at the same time, you have people trying to beat him up and bash him. What part of the world is that? He's getting bashed at home from his wife, then he can't get no assistance from his community sometimes, or he can't even get just vent and be just regular. Everybody has a 2 cents into something. Why do everybody has to have a 2 cents into something of what you're doing? Let a human being be a human being from time to time. Allah says this: I created men in the best of mold. Then I lowered him to the worst of the worst, except those who have Islamic monotheism. Except those who have it. So Allah says He created us in the best of the most. Children are created perfect. They are created that way. You leave them alone, they're gonna know that Allah is the creator of everything. They're gonna know and they're gonna obey. But what happens? Society, the household, the parents, they pick up these acts, they pick up these traits. And we have to look on the way that we raise our household, our family. This is why marriage is so important into the deen of Islam. It's been important from all the prophets and messengers. It's been important because marriage procreate, and then also marriage set the standards for society, the household, the value.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
We're talking about the table, right? In my home, I don't have a table. I had a table that a customer gave me, big, nice table.
Yeah.
And I put it outside because it was taking up too much space, right? I put it outside. See, you can eat on the floor. So a lot of times when we ask women, what do you bring to the table? They'll say, I bring the table. Well, a man is not interested in you bringing a table. You know, the Ma'idah, Maryam alayhi salam, they used to enter her chamber and she always had fresh food. And they say, Mary, where do you get this from? You say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides, right? See, the thing about it, the Ma'idah is a table spread, but it's on the floor. The Ma'idah can be on the table, but I'm saying like the table is not the Ma'idah. The Ma'idah is the spread, right? So that spread can be on the floor. So let's say my condition was poor. And I'm telling you, bro, I've seen what other white folk will call white trash, father, mother. And I shared the story 1,000 times how police used to pull up, you know, when I was gangbanging, they used to pull up and try to start mess between me and other gangs because they know I'm a blow, they gonna blow, bunch of dead niggas, they come with the body bag, zip us up, get rid of us, right? So they would come and start beef between us. The police would. We would be in the neighborhood blazing, boom, boom, boom. Police station, Allah is my witness. Police station less than a quarter mile down the hill from our neighborhood. We can look down and see the police station from where we are. They would not come in the neighborhood until the shooting stopped to pick up the bodies. I'm telling you, this is the reality. So I'm talking to this cop. He's telling me, oh yeah, we found some brand new boxes of Tech 9s in this certain neighborhood. So y'all get out the street tonight. I said, man, I ain't worrying about all that, man. What do you want? You know? So he's like, we talking, and a station wagon rolled by, had a bunch, I told the story 1,000 times, had a bunch of trash bags in the back of boxes, whatever. And kids were in the back seat of the station wagon, mother, father in the front seat, and a baby on the woman's lap. White folk, right? Baby on the
Yeah.
woman's lap. There's an old tore up station wagon. Baby on the woman's lap, not even in a child seat. I don't know if child seat laws were active back then. I think I was 18, 19. Nevertheless, the white cop turns and sees them and says under his breath, "White trash," and turns back to me. Now, before I say what I said to him, I'm going to say what I saw. He saw white trash. I saw a man with his family and his kids who loved him, his wife who loved him, with a newborn baby on his lap, maybe riding around looking for scrap metal, maybe riding around looking for something somebody threw out that he could use for his family, so on and so forth. I saw a man. I saw a man. I saw an alpha man. I saw a high value man taking care of his family with his family. That's what I saw. The white cop saw white trash. And when he said white trash under his breath, he turned to me. And what did I say? I said, if you feel that way about him, imagine how you feel about me. So I was on my nation tip back then. I said, if you feel like that about him, imagine how you feel about me. And I just walked away from it, right? So
Yeah.
again, this is what I'm saying. So what a man brings to the table don't have to be a table. But when you ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? They'll say, the whole damn table.
Yo, I like that. But
That's not necessary. We don't need a woman's table. And a man doesn't need a table. He needs a woman humble enough to sit on the damn floor and eat what he provided.
Nam.
That's what he needs.
You know, and I'm glad you use this ideology. See, Allah is the one when the meeting is gathered, and the meeting is to solely bring people to the understanding of what Allah created. Because Allah made us the vicegerents. Allah made us the maintainers of this earth. Allah created in that factor. So when the knowledge is being exchanged, especially between the believers, other analogies and other topics come out. You just mentioned the white trash.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, right? This is Allahu Akbar. I was going studying at John Jay. I graduated last year, December, with 6 credits towards my college. And before COVID happened, we had a Professor Maldonado, and he was breaking down the statistics of communities. If you go to our urban communities, it's always the liquor store, the laundromat owned by the Asians or other ethnicities except the black people. But he brought in the white trash factor, right? And he said this. He said, we did not name those white people white trash. You know who named
them?
White people named them that because they said, now we're going to use this. We set the table, we set the spread for you to dominate one race and use them as your stepping stool, as your tool. And what happened? You couldn't even do that. So we nicknamed you white trash.
Exactly. They didn't take advantage of the white skin. Now, Paul Mooney, who just passed away, Paul Mooney, comedian, okay, he said that every time he sees a poor white person, he goes, he said he just breaks down crying. He say, what a waste of good white skin. So this term white trash, yes, it comes from them because they feel like, dude, you got every advantage. Yet you chose to live on the bottom tier of society. You know.
And this factor. And then also with our own community, because we could go into that. Our own black folks, we love putting down each other. Like you said, you gangbang, and you're a different era than me. I consider myself, I'm 37 years old. I grew up in the 90s. I started gangbanging at the age of 13. And in my communities, I grew up in the North Bronx, just to be Pacific, where you could check the statistics. North Bronx, especially even in the South Bronx, you had crime scenes that people was getting shot in public housing or even close to any public housing, and the police would not even go in there. Beat walkers would run scared. Ambulances is not going in there. The blood would be on the body, on the floor for hours.
Yeah.
For the next day, because we was terrorizing each other. Now, the ignorance, like what the Quran did, the Quran already exposed the truth, the falsehood, the present, the future, and show what is to be accepted from the past. In our times now, right, the ignorance has been exposed. Nobody can keep using, oh, I'm black, nobody wants me. Yes, it exists, but that's not the holdback no more. The holdback is who? Your own self, your accountability. Any holdback within ourselves, if it's everything come from Allah, but the holdback where you're not really growing, you're not seeing the value of what you need, you're not building your foundation, it's because you choose the lack of accepting the signs what Allah put in front of you to further your growth. So it is yourself lacking your accountability, whether it is marriage, if you're not married, whether it is you building with your household, whether it is you might be the next scholar waiting and you are supposed to accept this factor, but you're holding yourself back. And it goes for all of us.
Yeah.
Numerous times. I tell people, I come off aggressive because I'm harsh on myself. I judge myself first. So when I judge myself, I used to beat myself for more than anybody else. But now I'm learning how to beat myself up, but then I also learn how to congratulate myself and not congratulate myself too much to know that I still got flaws. And that's where the humbleness comes in.
Here's a missing factor from myself, okay? Here's a missing factor. People say you're judgmental. Well, Muslims are judgmental. All intellectual beings are judgmental. If you're not an intellectual being, don't judge, okay? Kevin Samuels, who claims to be a Christian, he said, some woman on the show said, don't judge. He said, don't judge. That he used the word evolution. That's part of natural human evolution. Human beings judge. Now, he's totally contradicting his Bible, right? Judge not, you shall not be judged. He without sin cast the first stone. Well, I'm going to throw rocks because I got a handful of them. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah.
And if I was a homosexual, I would have to say homosexuality is haram, because if I didn't, I would be a kafir homosexual. Okay? If I was a drunk, I would have to say drinking is haram. And this is the next khutbah, but I'm not going to get my khutbah. But this is the issue. Go ahead.
I would love to be on that show, right? Because Allah's Akbar once again. All praise due to Allah. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. Why I say this, right? Because you just touched into, this is what Allah does, right? So a good friend of mine, a fellow, he's an imam, and also a good counselor, he made this post is what you're referring to. You're going to judge all equally. And he referred to the Lot, the people of Lot. Okay. And he referred to these people. Now, right? I was having a conversation maybe about, it was this week, so maybe around Tuesday or Wednesday with somebody. And I brought up what is going on in our society. So, a lot of people, right? Our society right now, it makes same sex on sex look so magnificent. Yeah. And why are we badgering people? So I was giving them a discussion. I said, brother, you know how I get past? Because I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim first. I'm a servant of Allah first. I submit to Allah first. So people ask me something. I'm like this. Let me tell you what it is. The same way I have to look at an unjust murderer, the same way I have to look at a rapist, the same way I have to look at somebody that is unjustly stealing, even if they might have a cause to steal, is the same way I have to look at homosexuality. It is forbidden. It is something that is illegal. I'm not differentiating. I'm not hating homosexuality because I'm Jamaican. I'm not hating homosexuality because what they do. No, I'm disliking it because it is something of existence.
And I hate that phobia. Homophobia. Nigga, I ain't scared of you. I'm afraid what you would do to my children.
Nah.
I'm a whole man. You know what I'm saying? We used to say, I used to say in prison that ain't no man gonna violate me. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I'm Muslim, so I didn't fall into none of that, but I'm saying ain't no man gonna violate me, and I say if he does, he gonna get it cold. It's gonna be real cold when he get it. I mean, I'm gonna be dead. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be dead. It's gonna be necrophilia. So that's the issue. I'm not scared of you, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of you. Yeah. I was telling the Catholic the other day, it was a Spanish lady I was working for. I told her, I say the problem with these people, I say, if I like feet, I don't walk up to people and say, Assalamu alaikum, I like feet. But the problem with them is they say, how you doing? I like the same sex. Like, who cares, dude? What you do personally, what you like personally, why is that on Front Street? Why do I have to know that?
Facts. That is
You
fact.
like to read to kids in elementary, right? You like to read to kids. You want to do a community service. Why you got to come dressed like a drag queen to read to kids? Then they caught one of these suckers. He's on the darn pedophile list, and he volunteered to read to kids.
That's
But
the
nobody
point.
want to talk about that.
And that's the point. Like me, right? I'm gonna put it like this. I have a past. I'm a felon. I talk about it because it's a part of my past, because it's a part of my growth. But I'm old right now. All right. I'm a substance abuse counselor. I am also a recovery coach trainer. I'm also a moral recognition therapy facilitator, licensed in states, licensed nationwide, and all of these. But the first thing that I'm not going to do is if I walk into the room, if the crowd don't entitle to me to say, well, you know, my name is Mustafa. I have hardships. I'm just like you. I've been in prison, or I'm just like you. I used to be an alcoholic. If it don't entitle for me to say that, because that's not what the crowd brings, why am I bringing that to the forefront?
Yeah.
If the crowd entitles for acts, I walk in the room, they tell me, Mustafa, you have to do a presentation here at this school, let's say. And it is just a random presentation with a bunch of random people, and you have to figure out what is going on. I'm gonna walk in the room. I'm gonna give them a greeting. I'm gonna be like, Salam alaikum. That's at the forefront, because I'm letting this mean peace be unto you. And I'm gonna ask, may I ask these individuals, everybody on a collective but individually answer, why are you sitting in this chair today? That's going to be the format. Why are you sitting in this chair today? And that will spark the questions. That will spark the communication. But when people have hidden agendas, when people have secret ways of trying to manipulate and trying to corrupt, they bring their manipulation to the forefront to offend you so that you can offend them. And then they say that you offended them and you are harassing them and you're the troublemaker because they have a hidden agenda.
So how your situation, the last one you were describing,
Yes.
you mentioned about she rolled over pregnant, basically. You waited a week until you consummated. You did consummate. She rolled over. I'm pregnant. Are you have any trepidation? Is there any doubt in your mind that?
Now, you know what's crazy? And I'm glad you brought it back there, right? Wallahi, right? This is how I feel. We made this. When I met her, right? 5 days later, she had her cycle.
Okay.
We got married the day we was consummating. Her cycle was supposed to be coming around. We made du'as. So she was in that ovulating period.
Okay.
So no doubt that I believe that I don't believe she was stepping out as far as physically, but by her actions, I believe she was physically stepping out mentally, because she listen, man plan, but Allah is the best of planners. She was not ready to get into a serious relationship. She was testing the waters, but was expecting full-fledged from the water. She was expecting to have salt water to clean the dirt, fresh water to wash up with,
See,
and cook.
this is the hypergamous nature of a woman. But a lot of times they don't. They say, well, the man should have waited till he got in a new relationship. Well, I'm a man. I ain't gotta wait for it. I ain't gotta wait. A man ain't got no iddah. So that's a problem with this equality stuff, man. Like, I'm a whole man. I ain't got no iddah. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me?
I'm my own therapy. Matter of fact, my new girl gonna be my therapy. How about that? So the point is
hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. You know what's crazy? When our argument started getting thicker, right? I told her, I said, all right, you know what? I'm not dealing with this no more. I'm gonna find me a new wife.
Yeah.
And she got upset. Even just yesterday, I need to speak to your new wife. You know what I did? And may Allah forgive me. This is not no intention. I have a homegirl that she actually seen me on Facebook. She reached out to me for help because she know the offerings that I can have because she was in a very messed up situation. And then she was on one of those minhages that was confused.
Okay.
Until at the she was new Shahada, but she came from the same walk of life as us being gangbangers. So I was assisting her. So now you know what? I said, you so bent up speaking about, oh, let me give you the underline. I'm not gonna lie. I guess I was simple. My man joked with me and said, you're a vagina whip, right? I didn't see the small print that she tried to sneak in a marriage contract. I signed it. I was happy. I thought this was supposed to be for life. It might be, still be, but I'm going through some headaches right now. You know what was the clause in the marriage contract that she put that I don't even have to abide, and I skip over it, and she's thinking it's still holding, but she's learning her lesson now? The husband further agrees that he cannot marry another wife without her permission. So now, I actually had my own girl. I said, you know what? You wanted somebody? Girl, I'm good. Yo, you need to find out what's going on because this is one of my ways of vetting. Because I need to find out imagine if I really had a wife that I needed to take. What are you trying to? Why you want to speak to her? You trying to corrupt something here and try to front like you're good? So my home girl called. I called. I had 2 phones, so I called her. On the other phone, they were speaking. So she's like, "Excuse me, Max, why do you need to speak to why you need to speak to me about me and my intendant?" She was like, well, I need to know because if he's going to have you as a wife, and I need to know if he's giving me XO and XO, he's not giving me XO and XO with that short, and this, that. And let me tell you, I know deep down my husband loved me. Did he tell you he made a song for me? I was just listening to it last night, but you was just listening to the song last night. But last night you giving me hell. And 2 days ago, you was just giving me hell. And all this, that, and the third. But she was going on and on and on. And deep down, I know. Then she blew up my phone. After my hunger blew up my phone. So, are you going to have her call me? I need the number. What? And tell her, no, she can't. Y'all can't get married since I can't talk to her. She really thought this clause in the contract she put was holding some weight.
You know what that's equal to?
What?
That's equal to, let's say you own a restaurant, a halal restaurant, right?
No.
And you hire a sister to work in the restaurant. She's your first employee, okay? Mm-hmm. Then you hire another female and she gets in your face. I need to see that application. I don't understand why I ain't enough as a work. Like, man, look, I'm trying to grow the business. You overstepping your authority. And it's the same with a wife. You know, my wife said yesterday, I feel like a woman should be able to talk to the next wife. And I said, oh no. I said, that only works for certain mentalities. You know, in certain mentalities, you got to keep them apart. Brother Abu American talked about his wives in a knife fight. They both brought out knives and were trying to kill each other. He jumped in to defend or to break it up and he got stabbed. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always a good situation. One sister killed her Moroccan co-wife. I mean, I thought it was the brother when I saw the mugshot, but it was a woman, I guess. And she killed the Moroccan wife. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So nevertheless, it's not always a good. I mean, in men, we feel like we want to put them together. We feel like we want to have them all in the same house. But that's fancy. That's fancy.
Now, if they can be pleasing, because she tried to play the role. Now, yesterday, she did the same thing. Yeah, mind you, this time we're not arguing. When you ask, did I believe it's mine or whatever the case may be, I do. But I believe you stepped out mentally. You was closing a relation. You don't know how to deal. You know, I say this, you may agree with this being an imam, right? And I'm a counselor. A lot of equations people deal with and make these misjudgments is because they do not handle their past trauma. A lot of people are walking around broken from childhood that they never fixed issues. A lot of people are broken. They might have not even had a broken childhood. They might have had the best childhood, but they went into a relationship that broke them. Or they had a relationship with somebody and they had children with that person, and then they broke their children or broke their heart. So now you have numerous mental psyche issues, but instead of you handling this mental psyche issue before you keep attracting other people and repelling off these negativity, you keep letting this negativity move with you and you're moving it towards other people, and you're blaming.
That's what I was talking about. A woman's hypergamous nature. A women tend to marry up economically, a man that can provide. They tend to marry up DNA, a man that can protect and produce strong, healthy children, so on and so forth. Because they feel like if they have a man that produces strong, healthy children, their children will have strong, healthy grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? So women tend to marry up economically, DNA wise. They tend to marry, and this is what a woman. Now, the modern woman. Okay. See, a woman will go, a believing woman will go through her iddah, then look for a man better than the last one she had or equal to. You know, if he died or whatever. Okay, now modern day women, you know what they do? They got a dude, they got a husband. While in iddah, they start shopping. They feel like I ain't finna be no sucker. I'ma jump on the next eggplant moving. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even finish with that situation. So why did Allah say 3-month iddah? There's so much wisdom there. I'm not giving the sabab or the legal reason for it. I'm saying there are wisdoms in it. Many benefits, intellectual benefits and wisdoms from it. It allows a woman to 3-cycle her vagina out, clean it out. So the next dude, you know, let's say the next dude is an oral type dude. Okay, if he gets down like that, which is totally halal, my understanding. I don't find anything haram about it. But nevertheless, let's say if that dude's like that, it lets her filter her toxins out. Now, when you get it, it's fresh now. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is that with that being said, her hypergamous nature makes her want to jump on the next dude. But Allah gave her that filtering process that she needs to respect. And a lot of times, what another wisdom of iddah is, Allah says 2, Allah mentions 2, but there are other ones we can gather that a benefit. Allah says 1, to know if she's pregnant or not. 2, because women will have a light period after they actually pregnant. My wife did it for the last 2 kids at least. She had a light period. We didn't know she was pregnant. She had some bleeding, spotting, whatever. She thought she was on her period, but it was kind of an odd period, you know. So the problem is, this is what we're talking about. A woman hypergamous nature makes them want to continue with the maintenance, continue with the protection. So they want to jump from one dude to the next, but they don't give it its propers, which is an iddah, a waiting period. So Allah says 1, to find out if she's pregnant. 2, there might be reconciliation. A woman is still emotionally tied to that last dude, no matter how abusive he was. Okay, so hold on. So she's tied to him. He was really abusive. He was a jerk. He did this and that. But she still got some type of, this man entered her. Do you know that's really intimate? That's why women that have a high body count, this is scientifically proven, they have a hard time loving that next dude. They got too much in the hard drive. Too many penises on the hard drive. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Go ahead, inshallah. Well, one thing I mentioned. Hold on. I mentioned one thing. High body count.
Arby's, we have the meats.
So I'm glad you said that, right? And why I say this, you said the mental now, that is that, right? Glad that you said that. I know you heard every key word that I keep talking back to. She mentally stepped out because you was not ready for that factor. And then within your 2 years that you wasn't with it, I'm gonna show you, and this is a simp, but it's a really growing experience for me, right? You know, one of the things that happened, right? I done helped this lady out while we was even talking after she became my intendant. So one of our house, because she owned properties, one of our house, a boiler went out. This lady sat there and was like, yo, this emergency thing went out, whatever, had to get it fixed, but she didn't have all the money to cover. You know, I'm sitting there minding my bed, but I'm not going to break my back because I had to go handle my needs. I done already helped you out because financial, whatever. So now she's the only one person can help me. Called me like 11 o'clock at night, woke me out of my sleep. One person could help me, and he's being a jerk. What? Oh, your daughter father. I said, and my mom was asleep, but I woke up like, yo, do you? I'm trying. I said, do you think that's really respectful? Now I'm just saying, And I was like, yo, literally, that means you showed that you wasn't stepping off. But you know, hey, me being a human being, like I said, you live and you learn. I got a heart. That more sort of flesh that it's soft, it's tender. Still gave the chance. But how are you going to keep on doing it? And you know one thing that I did in this marriage? That's why I'm not even mad. And she could feel how she did. I showed her how I could react. If you try to play with my emotions, you're not going to guard nothing and you're going to get me upset. I told her, I don't want to marry you. And I felt like he was a scam. I said it in the nicest way, but to her, it was harsh. You heard? We end up still getting married. Now, these past couple arguments, I'm not going to hold you. You thought Jalali or Mustafa. Damn sure wasn't simping. I was pimping. Not proud of it. And you know what? The first time I did it, I'm going to show you the signs of Allah, right? The first time I did it, I said some things. Yo, bro, I'm on my way leaving from work. Man, the earth was rejecting me, brother. People different. People, I was like, yo, I went straight to the masjid, went downstairs and went to sleep. I ain't talked to nobody. I woke up and then it was at peace. The second time I had to say some harsh things though, because she forced it on me now, because she want to play these games like I'm supposed to be jealous. Like, what do you bring to the table? I bring everything. Everyone wants me. I'm special. Dudes is chasing me. Because they was chasing you. Why you came over here and chased me?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
They chasing you. And everybody
I
wants
get
you.
tired of that. You know, I had a woman tell me, well, if you can't be dedicated to me, you know, as far as monogamy, whatever. Yeah. She said, if you can't be dedicated to me, then I'ma go find. I say, prove me wrong. She said, I'ma prove you. I say, prove me wrong. Go find that dude. But you can't come back here, baby. Go find
Yeah.
that dude.
But not so the second time, now I said some things again because you try to play this role to make me think that yo, this man and this that. And, oh, now text now numbers is coming in. You text now me from a number in the previous argument. Now this text now number comes back in. Whose side are you on? Oh, you on your ex that you ain't been married to in 2 years? Or you on my side? And what is your community doing? This is another important part of it. Marry within your community. I understand that. You marry outside your community, you don't know what Joe Blow or what type of situation or what goes on in her community or what even if she's even a outstanding member in her community. And vice versa for the woman as well. You don't even know if there's an outstanding member in his community. But to nevertheless, when I flipped out this time, I didn't feel bad. I might have been confused because this went all the way to where I'm saying this is some longevity thing. This is a real marriage here because, you know, the EDA extends after 3 months. If you're pregnant, you got to drop the load. And like you said, there's rules to this EDA. You can reconcile. There's a baby involved now. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this child thing because you playing these games. It's not about me. It's about that life in your stomach. The earth didn't reject me this time. You know, right after I finished saying what I said, and boy, Too Short lyrics came out. You know, y'all know who Too Short is. Too Short lyrics came out.
Yeah.
I get a phone call for my part-time job to do what I'm doing, dealing with mental issues and this, that, and the third for my school. So that was a sign from Allah that no, Mustafa, you're not really being wrong. You might be a little harsh, but you're not being wrong now because I'm being provoked. So now the thing that you said, and I'm going to it now of the Ida period for them to cleanse out, right? You know, numerous questions. I get this from non-Muslims because I'm also on other sites and I talk to non-Muslim and women and this, that, and the third in groups and kick knowledge, right? You know what their favorite question is? You could have 4 wives because they say multiple. I said, no, we only could have up to 4. Mm-hmm. Oh, so I can't have more than one husband. And I said, certain things in Islam, a lot of things, Allah just forbade it and we hear and we obey. But let's get into the scientific part of this. You do know that you can have children, right? You do know that you have a period, right? So you do know that you have 4 husbands or more, whatever amount of husbands or guys you want nothing in you. You do know you're not cleaning yourself properly. You do know that you're messing up your whole cipher system, right? And you don't know who could be the father. Do you understand the value of that? Do you say you bring you to the table? Do you understand what you're bringing? Do you understand the damage that you're doing to yourself?
You know what? Check this out. The table. When you set a table with plates, cups, spoons, forks. So a lot of times there's a knife. A lot of times when you set the table, there's a knife.
Yeah.
So the woman says, you said, what you bring to the table? The whole table. She got a knife. That mentality of I bring the whole table, they say everything. I bring,
Yeah.
but you can't bring everything. You can't protect me. You can't maintain me. You know what I'm saying? And even if you have money, you can maintain me. And I don't have to work. I can just dedicate my life to dawah and serving the masjid. Even so, you can't protect me. So you don't bring everything. The closest to everything is the man. The only one that can bring everything is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And
Now,
even he restricts us from some things out of his
now,
mercy. Because if we had,
now,
Allah Ta'ala says that if he were to give us everything that we asked for, you know what I'm saying? Everything that we ask for, we would not be in a favorable state. But Allah withholds those things that we tend to ask for, we think we need. And we have a problem with understanding needs and wants. Okay?
yeah,
Your needs are maintenance and protection. Your wants is a better car, a better home, or this and that. Well, this is where I'm living. This is how I'm living. I have the potential and the knowledge to be rich. I choose not to work 12 hours a day. I choose to work 6. I work 6. Sometimes I work 8. I get up to 9 or 10 sometimes, but I miss my babies and I want to come home to my children. So therefore, when you say you bring everything to the table, know that she has a knife. And if she say, no, there's no knife. This is pasta day. She has a fork. You know what I'm saying? So beware. She'll stab you with it.
yeah.
She'll stab you with it.
Now, I respect that view and that analogy, man. And you know, as it goes on to this topic, because you know now you open the door for me to come on you with another platform, you know, because we're gonna now we can talk about different aspects too, because pre-marriage, right? Pre-marriage is your household. It is your society. You know, you have households that are not even with their born biological parents.
Yeah.
No, law intellect. And what do we do with this intellect? We transgress. Like you just said, you said the key point. The closest thing that can bring everything to the table is the man. But who brings everything to the table is Allah, and he restricts certain things for us.
Yes.
So now, pre-marriage is that household. A lot of people don't understand what a household, what a foundation is. Like I'm going to this because the more sincerity, you know what I mean, may Allah continue to ease my tongue, is me bringing my personal into this in a matter. Because that needs to better explain this, right? Before my wife and my mother got on the phone together, I was on the phone with my mother. Because my wife, you know, Mel went to her house dealing with her, because where I stay at, somebody stole my credit card. I'm glad that I didn't pay the whole remaining balance. I left the half of it. You know what I mean? This is a good that came from my marriage, because I had to cut half to go handle something else. They went and ordered about $300-400 worth of sneakers. But it didn't go through because I didn't have the full balance. So I transferred my address over to my wife. But also the fraud papers had to go there. But they all did this stuff online, so it wasn't in no store. So now, mind you, I've been on the block list for about a whole week. And I was on my too short thing, man. Allah forgive me. I was too short. I might have been E40 next, but you know. I was on the block list for a week. She unblocked me yesterday after she spoke to my alleged wife. You know what I mean? Unblocked me. Last night I come in, I wake up a little bit. She unblocked me to tell me, yo, mail came for you. I want to mail it to your wife or email it to your wife. So the man had to call her. Listen, you know what to do. You fill this out, anything you need to know you have. I'm not doing this. That is your wife's job. I said, are you dumb? Technically, you are my wife, woman. So you need to go handle that. I'm not being nobody coach. Man, you heard what I said. Now handle that. Boom. Phone cut. Assalamu alaikum. Enjoy. So I called my Umi. I'm like, Umi, you know what's crazy, man? This man thing is really crazy. Because mind you, I'm having a baby with you. I'm doing everything. Yo, I did everything that I was supposed to do as a man. When a man do everything that he's supposed to do and he get insulted, that shit hurt. The same way if a woman do what she's supposed to do, and their task is easier than ours, but if they what they're supposed to do, and the man do some hurtful thing and stepped out and violated and didn't fulfill his rights, yeah, she has a right to feel hurt, badgered, feel tarnished. So talking to my homie, and I explained this. So I told my homie, I brought up the childhood thing. Like I said, homie, you know, it's crazy because I grew up in a household, and I was like, I grew up in a house. I understand you because I didn't grow up in a household where it was peaceful. Yo, my stepfather had a job, my mother had a job, but my stepfather and my moms used to argue. But then also my stepsister and my moms used to fight. One of his daughters, physically, boom, boom, boom. I'm seeing this in the household. And I already had my own trauma I'm going through. So we was having this conversation. So then I ended up now, the wife and mother come on the phone. And I tell them this again. Well, I say the household factor pre-Islamically. Because if you're growing up in a household and you see some violence, you might think that is normal. It is when the intellect, because remember, your brain as a child, as any human being, is growing. It's growing. So you might see some things that are normal. This is why Allah says everybody's created upon natural feature. By the way, He said that, except now the community, the society, and so forth, they changes them. So now you start thinking certain things is normal. This is why you have households that think, oh, you could be a murderer is normal. You could punch a woman in the face is normal. If somebody say something to you heinous, you can punch them in the face. Some household thinks because people are adopting children, whether they male on male, female on female, that they think same sex is normal. People might think that robbing and stealing is normal. This is the pre-marriage factors that comes into the door. So, you know, what rushes the marriage in Islam? What makes you decide that, yo, you know what, I got to marry this person? Because you're trying to guard your chastity. Whether you're a virgin or not, you're trying to guard your private, your sexual parts. So now, a lot of us, I'm guilty of that, rush into marriages. Why? Because I'm trying to satisfy my sexual gratification. I may not have the strength to fast as it is commanded to by Rasulullah Sallallahu under the mercy of Allah.
If you have the means, you marry. Fasting was recommended for youth, for younger men who can control their desires. Now look at this real quick.
Yes.
The table, okay? The table. Temperament, okay? You have affection, okay? You have beauty, you have loyalty, and you have economic responsibility. She's not a spendthrift. A woman is really by Allah's grace, at an advantage. That dude brings the table. That dude brings everything. All she has to bring is temperament, affection, beauty, loyalty, and economic responsibility. Don't just spend his money willy-nilly. Okay. With that being said, she comes in, she can go to any guy that can provide.
Now,
any provider. And who are there was a group of white women in Africa. They would marry from a certain tribe of African men. Now, I'm sure these white women were divorced. I'm sure they had children. They basically, gave up on not having maintenance. They probably wanted, a little mandingo in their life, So they would marry a certain tribe of African man. But guess what? They would only marry married men. And the logic of their logic, I'm not saying if it was true or not, okay? Their logic was that this man is already tested, whether or not he will provide, whether or not he will protect, whether or not he's a good father, whether or not he's a good husband. He's already tested because he's already married. This is the advantage that women have. They can actually go to someone who is actually being tested, not someone that makes promises. Like those simpish beta dudes that put in the contract, I would never marry another wife. Dude, why don't you chop your penis off?
Yeah.
Yeah. chop off your werewolves and your penis and
You
send them
see,
to Salvation Army or something.
you seen I handled that clause that she tried to sneak in there
Mm.
under the marriage contract.
Yeah.
What? You like, I'm about to go get me another wife. And she thought it was under impression. And it's sad to say, men have a full found. We have a physical capability that is stronger than you.
Yeah.
Physical capability. But we also, that Allah made us with a mental capability. And the woman strength that they use is in this mental game. But you do not, from men like us that came from the T.A.B.L.E, that came from real traits, because and people misconcept this in Islam. When that Quran was revealed in the Arabian Peninsula, man, the people that embraced Islam that became the best of the best, that set the molds for society after the Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one time were the harshest, toxic people in the world. When that Islam embraced their heart, they became the best of the best.
Yes.
Those of us that been through the T.A.B.L.E and embrace Islam and trying to handle it to the best ability, we can play that toxic game if you want. Do we want to play it? No. But with the temperament, like you said, spendthrift, right? This is another misconception that women have, right? Woo, they love Khadijah. They love Anna. Because some women have money, some women have some wealth.
Only one aspect of Khadijah that they really love. The other aspect they admire. The aspect that they love, Khadijah radiallahu anha was the only wife. They love that aspect. But guess what? The Rasul was dependent upon her. He worked for her. He did not inherit her business. 15 years of marriage before he became Rasul. Okay? Before it was known to him that he was a Rasul. 15 years before, and Allah says, وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًا فَهَدَى. We found you astray or in error and we gave you guidance. So Allah is talking to Muhammad. So at the age of 40, when he received the wahi, he became the messenger. After that day, he didn't work anymore. Khadijah funded the dawah. So of course he's not going to marry another woman. He can't afford another woman. He didn't work funding the dawah. Now that's different than a man that does work. Now, even if a woman makes more than a man, he still doesn't relent or do away with his ability or right to marry another woman. So they admire that part, that Khadijah was the only one. Matter of fact, a woman named Khadijah, she said, my name is Khadijah for a reason. I say, but you have none of the qualities. You have none of the qualities. You assume the name. You know what I'm saying? Your name is Boom Sheik or whatever your name is. And you change it to Khadijah, but that's the only quality she admired, that Khadijah was a sole wife. Now, Muhammad Sallam is living off of Khadijah and she's funding the dawah. He did not work a 9 to 5 after receiving the revelation. So hold on. They love that aspect that Khadijah was a single, the only sole wife. The other aspect that they like or they admire is that she had money. But men are not looking for that in women. Now, in my older age, if I marry a woman, because I'm done with being Captain Saver 403, okay? She gonna have to have a Tesla. My next one gonna have a Tesla or a high-end Mercedes. She gonna have to have a nice house, so on and so forth. I'm putting it out there. She gonna have to have something. I am not doing it again.
Jake, I guess,
I'm retiring my cape.
Yo, I guess you Captain Saver 407. I guess I'm Captain 757. Because after two, you know what I landed? Why I brought up the Khadijah? This woman got house, property, but she still needed my system. Why I brought up they love this, that I admire in part, is the funds, right?
Yeah.
These women have this twisted ideology. Mind you, this one said to me, I've been single for 2 years. I told you, she started acting like she forgot. Yo, you got married, woman. You ain't going to be running around here, moving around, hopping around like this, that, and the third. You got to get permission for things. But my thing, what it was, before you got married, I told her this. I said, yo, my name's Swaggy Aki, but it ain't because I'm wealthy, I'm chasing the wealth. No, I'm appealing for the youth. I'm bringing Islam to the youth because sometimes we dissentate from the youth. I'm 37, but I'm still young, but I'm also still becoming grown. I do this to show the young Muslim brothers and sisters that you can still be cool and have your deen and understand what you're representing. But where her having this ends and this money, she thinking, she depend on this maintenance that I gave her, that she agreed upon. And I raised her. I could have went even lower when she would have accepted because she was at wealth. But I'm not that type of individual. Yeah. I'm a fair, just man. But you're not going to sit here like one of the things that costs is, like you said, spendthrifter. You want to believe it. Well, I don't know if it's going to be a walima now. You wanted to invest $16,000 into a walima of your money, though. This is what it kept saying. My money. You're taking my maintainers to do what needs to be done. But what do you want? What do you need all of that for? You keep spending and spending. But I told her this. I know what your issue is. You're being bamboozled by these panhandling Muslims. Sorry to say, yes, there are panhandling Muslims. You have a deficiency within yourself. Islam might have touched your heart. Allah knows best. But you have mental issues. You have hardships that you're trying to cover up. And you keep letting these people around you, because she has people that owe her some quite amount of wealth. 20,000 here. You keep trying to do this. You keep being bamboozled. Oh, shorty. Yeah, the money of what you spend, but you have to have good intentions of what you spend them behind. It don't impress. I can only make $5,000 a month or $3,000 or $1,000 a month. What you have is not impressing me, because Allah made this earth for us. We know how. But my thing, why I brought up that Khadijah factor, because they think they could do whatever they want with their money too. No, yeah, it's yours. Yeah. But you are under the sole protection, guidance, teaching, education. You belong to that man. Yeah. You have to get permission to do a lot of things. You can't even step outside the house without him knowing. Somebody can't. And even if y'all don't live together, you're still his part. Okay. Nobody can come into that house without him knowing. Why? Now, you want to use the table terminology? Sweetheart, you're my table. You live at this house. That table is in that house. You're my table. Mm-hmm. Who's coming to sit in this house? This is realistic fact that a lot of people seize to overlook the factor, because a lot of simpish, non-man cosign this ignorance that these women do. Be gentle, but be firm. Stop cosigning the bullshit.
Yeah, but their wealth, they can spend it how they want, and as long as it and you're acting in that regard as an advisor, because if they're going to cause harm to themselves, like for instance, I want to buy a Ninja motorcycle. Okay, buy all the motorcycles you like, but you ain't riding them. You ain't riding them because you can really seriously hurt yourself. A lot of people are in a vegetative state, in a wheelchair or bedridden, because they drove that fast motorcycle. That motorcycle is made for racing, not to go to the store or drive down the street or go out of town with. It's not made for that. So anyway, you can protect them against themselves as their husband, as their wali, right? The other part is, like, for instance, me and my family went to New Orleans, because my whole family's from New Orleans. I'm a Texas baby, but all my siblings are older than me. I'm the youngest. They're from New Orleans, right? So what happens was that we went to New Orleans on vacation. They wanted to go back and see, and I went to 10th grade, F.T. Nichols High School in New Orleans. I went there for the 10th grade. We used to go on the summers and stuff like that with my uncle and my stepdad, so on and so forth. So I'm familiar with the city too. So we go back for a vacation, and my wife at that time, she had this really wide herringbone necklace, herringbone necklace. And she wanted to wear it. Now we're walking down Canal Street near the French Quarter, okay? About to turn on Bourbon, right? We're looking at these storefronts and walking. And I told her, don't wear it. Don't wear that herringbone. She wanted to wear it. Okay, I'm your protector. You put me in a bad position. If you know New Orleans, okay? You put me in a bad position. She's walking down Canal Street with a big herringbone on, and I'm walking, and I'm from the mud. So I'm watching people's eyes. I'm looking at people's faces and I'm looking at their eyes. Dudes walking by, hood dudes walking by, looking right at the necklace, looking at the necklace. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to hurt somebody. Somebody's gonna hurt me. All because she wanted to wear this darn necklace. And see, oh, she was not letting me be a protector. Your job is to protect me, but you're putting me in harm's way.
Nah,
You're wearing this necklace. These dudes finna snatch your necklace. I'm gonna have to chase them down around the corner. You know what's around that corner? My death, possibly. I'm saying,
Walaikum.
you know, my death, possibly. So this is the problem. That's where our protection extends even to their wealth. We can
Nah,
say no. Yeah, you can buy a ninja motorcycle. You can keep it clean, put it in the garage, have fun, but you're not riding it. That's my choice. You can buy it, it's your wealth, but I have a choice whether or not you drive it or not because I'm the protector. I want some ice cream. It's raining outside, the weather's not good. Well, why don't you go get me some ice cream? I say it's not safe for you to drive, not safe for me to drive. There's a weather warning. There's a flash flood warning. They say stay inside, don't go outside unless it's absolutely necessary. Well, I want ice. Okay, your ice cream does not supersede life and health and safety. Okay. So again, even though they have their own wealth, it's for us to take that prisoner and give them a commissary limit. You know what I'm saying? Because the Muhammad said they're like prisoners under our care. So anyway, what I want to do, I want to go to the comments now because we already passed we passed 2 hours already. Go to
yeah,
the comments real quick.
yeah, definitely.
Some so anyway, it's, again, Mustafa, Matik McCall said that he asked them what are they offering besides WAP and kids that are not his. You know, one brother
Yeah,
Akili Nusili, I think his name is Akili Nusi. He said that Nuasi or whatever his name is. He said that women they want your maintenance. They want your maintenance and another man's DNA, or vice versa. You know, but
wow.
a woman has to be content with that man because they're not allowed plural husbands as we are allowed plural wives. Uh, so anyway, yeah. So we went through some mute issues. So again, brother say listening, mashallah. Well, no, sister Nisa Charles Brown says she listening from Trinidad. Ahlan wa sahlan, alhamdulillah. Matik says, uh, uh, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Well, a lot of times that is a reality. That's a reality. Uh, those sound like red flags. I'm not sure what she's talking about, but yet still, we understand the conversation we were having. Uh,
Yeah.
and he said, "You
Not
single."
when I was probably talking about my marriages, you know.
Okay. What was Batik talking to you when he said, "Are you single?"
Oh no, he's talking to her. Yeah, he was talking to her.
Oh,
You
he's
know,
talking. I'm
Mati.
talking to sister.
Yeah, you
Better leave
know.
my sister alone. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, bro. Mashallah.
Yeah,
I support that.
right. Yeah, she's good.
So he says, you guys are funny. She deserve it. Okay. He says, people need to heal before beginning a new relationship. And that's I'm talking about women. Women need to heal, not people. A
Yeah,
man's therapy is that new box. That's a man's therapy. New voice,
yeah,
new box. That's a man's therapy. We're different. Therapy is necessary. Yeah, Islamic therapy, inshallah. Say these use the same hadith to manipulate women, but isn't well. It's not. I don't think anybody ever used that hadith to manipulate women. That most in the hellfire for being ungrateful. I don't think the hadith
yeah,
is being used to manipulate. I think it's making a point. Just as if I say, "Oh, ain't nothing wrong with women. Most of them be in heaven." Okay, now if I got 8 children, right? Do you think I
mm.
want one of my children to be a fasik or a kafir or a munafiq?
No, man,
So
Allah
when someone
protect them.
says, well, the majority are good, no, I want all of them to be good. So just because the majority will be in heaven, just as there are majority in Jahannam, you know, I don't think we should be happy that a majority are in heaven. I think we should be concerned about those that are entering the hellfire and for what reason. Okay, much needed. Yeah, my leg hurt. My leg, what? My
Hmm.
if they say leg hurt is
That's
crazy.
when I was talking about the sex. when I said a female be like, yo, I don't want
Okay, yeah, okay,
to.
there you go, mashallah. Yeah, see, you kept up. Okay, okay, the brother said we understand the hadith. Okay, Hurain, I guess he's talking about. It says, y'all bugging. I ain't taking care of no one, family. I mean, like I say, man, I went through years and years of trick stage. I found out that it doesn't work. There's a book that Amoo Yusuf recommends called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
That some Kafir guy wrote, but he was just giving his feedback on nice guys finish last, man. It's better that we be Islamic guys. That we be just Islamic guys. Let's stop trying to be nice guys. Let's just be Islamic guys, inshallah.
Yo,
Uh,
I gotta stay, right? And this is from an inbox because I was messaging people in the group, right? I'm gonna safeguard the person name, right?
okay.
I'm gonna save name. But now you're gonna laugh. Remember when you was just using the stages of the Ida, right? And females that'd be married, but you're in Ida, and they would try to seek out a new husband. So somebody did that to me when I first came home from prison 2018. And it so happened at Ed, I seen them. And I found out they was somebody's daughter.
Okay.
So this individual daughter now is sitting here because I sent her the live, because I promote the live. This is her podcast. This is what we do. It's most, stop sending me people's live. It's annoying, especially not him. Blah, 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 blah. She slandered the name. That's all I'm going to say. And in my head, I'm just sitting here like, the nerve of you. I found out who your mother was, and then it seemed, but your mother was trying to contact me for marriage, and then the proof for some things 3 years later. You was technically married. You told me you was divorced.
Yeah.
But this is what people do. This is what we say, you guard your tongue. The believers are safe from you physically harming them and safe from the tongue. We make mistakes, but you openly sitting here, you running around here lost. You always want to contact and be, because, I'm Mustafa. I'm going to be me. I live my life as an open book, but I keep what needs to be secret. But to keep my peace, I will open up what needs to be opened up about my life. You have nothing positive to say, don't say it at all, especially when you're a minor. Not meaning minor like you're under age 16. You're probably 20-something years old. Check your household. This is what we talk about, pre-marriage. You probably see some things, may Allah forgive them, may Allah bless them, may Allah guide them on the right way. But don't sit here and try to stop people that are trying to bring this topics that need to be addressed in the Islamic community in the form Muslims benefit from as well, which are toxic ways,
I was telling Amoo Yusuf yesterday, I think I said it on the podcast maybe. I said, man, I'll be talking about the relationship issues between Muslims, men and women, and stuff like that. And I said, I bet you good Muslim women and good women, period, are looking, because you ain't gotta be a Muslim woman to be a good woman. You be a good Muslim woman, just like you can be a bad Muslim woman. You can be a good wife, just like you can be a bad wife if you're a Kafir, So anyway, and I talk about these issues, and I bet you good women are like, who is he talking about? That's not us. And they are right, but there's a segment of them that are like as we speak about. Okay, so if you can muddle through the sus and toxic points that we talk about, you could reach the positive stuff, but you got to be willing to deal with the negative. Imagine the Quran came and said everybody's good, everybody going to heaven, and it said the end. That's not a very good Quran. But the Quran talks about burying the baby daughters alive, cheating in the marketplace, not paying the fair share, being unjust, and it talks vividly about the hellfire. The Quran gives good news and it gives bad news, and the problem is we are up for the good news. We're not up for the bad news. And a lot of times the bad news is what is at issue.
I'm going to say this too, because you brought that up, right? I was sitting there one time and I was listening to the Imam give a khutbah. And it so happened my first khutbah I gave, I was talking about intoxicants. I gave it at a substance program. And he said, you know what was the first verse revealed about intoxicants, about khamra? You know what was the first verse? And a lot of people, OU who believe stay away from. They believe that's what it was. You know what? Honestly, what it was?
It was evil.
Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They asked you about intoxicants.
Yeah.
They asked you.
Yeah.
Now the people knew that they was doing something wrong, but they asked. Allah didn't mention it. The people, but the people now ask.
Well, yes, I do.
Yeah, the people ask, and that's the wisdom behind the Quran, as you was just trying to give an example of.
Yeah.
The people asked Allah about intoxicants. Allah knew we wasn't ready.
Well, they could see the harm in it. You know, they wanted to know. You know, they asked Muhammad about time. Allah says it's an evil. It's an evil. Men find benefit in it, but the sin outweigh the evil. I mean, the sin outweighs the benefit. But okay, brother Michael Smith, he said the second. He says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And brother Robert J. Campbell said Assalamu alaikum, black women.
That's
I guess he meant they want us to suffer for us. I'm not sure what he means for us, but yeah, it's like men have suffered enough, and it's just as a lot of people in the manosphere will say that we have never had control over women, as far as being ex-slaves. We've never had control over women, so why are women acting as if we're the ops? See, we never had control over you all like that, and now you all went from under nobody's under the slave master's authority to under whose authority? To your own devices. That's where you actually went. And this is the point of EX-FAKTLY. I hope that, inshallah, we can come together. I want to get Matik on. I think you and Matik need to pull up. Not next week, because I have a pre-recorded show called Man's Best Friend. Oh, this is going to make them angry. This is going to make them angry, because women are always saying a wife should be a husband's best friend. And some of us may agree. Some men may agree with that. But what is it going to take to commandeer, to assume the title of man's best friend? Because currently, who has the title of man's best friend today?
The dog.
The dog. So what is it going to take for a woman to take on that title of man's best friend? Are you calling women's dogs? No. You all call each other bitch. You all call each other female dogs. I've heard Muslim sisters say, I'm a bad bee. I heard sisters say, you'll never find a bee like me, and I pray Allah I don't.
You know me too.
So y'all call each other bee. Matter of fact, Capone, he's a well-known comedian, really raunchy comedian. But he said something intellectual the other day. He said that a man will get so fed up, he'll call his wife, you bee. And she'll say, oh, what? She'll say, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm getting out. So she'll call her friend. She'll call her friend, hey, let's go out and to a bar. Let's go to a club. This dude done call me a bee, right? So her friend shows up. She opens the door, right? Her friend say, oh, girl, look at what you wearing. I ain't think a bee was trying to do that tonight. And a friend just called her a bee, right? She said, yeah, girl, you know how a bee do it. She just called herself a bee. Now, her friend called her a bee. She called herself a bee. The man is in trouble because he in the doghouse because he called her a bee. Now, he's sitting back looking confused. And this is the problem that we're dealing with. We're dealing with this problem. So again, when we say man's best friend, out of all due respect, we're not calling women female dogs. We're not doing that. We're saying that what will it take for you to assume, because you assume that men should be your husband should be your best friend, and the wife should be the best friend of her husband. Let's say I agree. I would love that. I've tried it. I only had one best friend wife, and that was Asma Abdurrahim. That was the only one. Okay, she was from Jersey or Connecticut, one of those. But anyway, so and she was from the Al Fuqara community, the impoverished community. They go off and live by themselves. So anyway, the point is, and they know they're Sufi. They follow Sheikh Jelani, some Pakistan dude. I don't know why Negroes always following Pakistanis anyway. But so but the point is that this was the issue. So that's my next show is pre-tape. Me and brother Akili Nuisi, I think his name was, is if I'm pronouncing that correct, I apologize if I'm not. And I'm gonna pre-tape that, but I want to get you and Matik on because I got one that I'm going to tell you about. Some other, I'm gonna tell you back soon, inshallah. I got one.
Inshallah.
I
So
want that rascal on because he's unhinged.
yeah, I'm gonna get him. We're gonna get him on the
Yeah.
show because we need, the unhedges, and may Allah bless this, topic to be fit for all, because obviously, it was a sensitive topic, of course, because I used a lot of my personal aspects in this.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole week, I was getting badgered in a Facebook group by people talking about you got to save your character, you got to do this, and they didn't know half. I didn't even say half of what this was going on. I was just enjoying vetting. The only thing that they knew that it was me was because a brother that is involved in the situation that married us, he made a comment because I did put a picture there, but I X'd out the name, and it wasn't a picture of anybody else that alleged my child in the womb. I said, I cracked the joke. I joke with the truth. You know what I said? I said, I'm about to be on. I'm going to be on Maury, January 19, 2022.
Yeah.
And I'm about to sell the backstage YouTube passes for $5.99.
You know what I say? Have you ever got in trouble in school because the teacher saw you hit somebody?
Yes.
Do you know 9 out of 10 times somebody hit you first?
Mm-hmm.
The teacher caught the catches you hitting back. He or she almost never catches the first lick. See, this is the problem you had.
Mm-hmm.
Someone violated you, but the masjid only want to talk about your response. You notice that? They want to talk about when you snap.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of hitting while I was in this group, and behind closed doors, I was talking to members of my community, and people feel ways about certain things. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I talk about this, right, the dissension between the adults and the youth, who are my best friends in the masjid? I'm cool with the youth, but my best friends are the elders. My best friends are people that are actually 50, been married 25 years and more. Yeah. And I'm also cool with wives because they see why they're my best friends, because they went through similar things just like me, and they're kicking that knowledge and they still do it in a youthful manner. And I learned a lot from them. I say this sincerely. If you're ever young, if you're 20, if you're 30, get around those brothers in the masjid that are happily married, that are doing their thing, that show up at that masjid and they're 60 years old and 55 years old. Get around them. Get to know them.
And I did that. I did that also in jail. Is really I prefer prison to jail. Jail is really stressful for me. I like prison more than jail if I had a choice. Okay. And in jail, I only roll with the old heads. I play dominoes with the old heads. I'm an old head now, but I'm saying back then when I was 20, I roll with the old heads, dominoes, spades. I roll with the old heads because the youngsters, man, I go upside their head. They're too unstable. But nevertheless, inshallah, we're gonna close it out, but we're gonna pick it back up. And I appreciate you coming on. I enjoy you. I enjoy you, mashallah. I enjoy you being on. I like your insight, and I have an estranged daughter that's 20 something years old. I wish I could send her to you. I wish I could send her to you, and if she ever act out, I'll catch a plane and whoop her butt. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could, but her mom ruined her, against me or whatever, and now her mom's suffering for that. So anyway, this is the issue with it. If she ever come back in my life, I'll say, look, man, you got her. I tie her up, put her in a UPS box, and ship her to you. And if she's still alive when she get there, you can have her. But nevertheless, so like I say, let's hook up again, inshallah. Let's hook up again, and look for me to co-host. I'll ask you about the sister. If you got a sister that does not shy to co-host.
I'm about to create that group message right now.
Okay.
And her and me, so that we can have the discussion. I'm about to create it right now.
I'm gonna let her know we don't have to agree, That's where the flavor happens. You know?
Yeah.
If all the spices blend into one spice, you won't get the variety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Salt never tastes like pepper, but when you put them together, it tastes nice. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, inshallah, let's go ahead and close it out. This is for brother mashallah. Let me see what the brother name. This right here is for brother what is his brother's name? Oh man, I just had the brother's name and I think I messed it up. Let me move this over. Oh, let me go move this over. I can't move it over. I can't move it over. The brother just. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Subhanallah. Now I can't get it back. You know what? I think I got too many windows open. Let me close
Yeah.
these windows.
Oh, hit the sister, that group that I just created. That's for the sister, so you could talk to her. Maybe inshallah she watch this podcast and see.
Okay. This is for brother Julius Quick. Brother Julius Quick. This is for him.
Oh.
Arby's, we have the meats.
Okay, there we go. He likes that. Hey, look, sisters. Yeah. I ain't hating on no Arby's. I ain't hating on no horsey sauce. You know what I'm saying? I like Arby's. I like Arby's too. So we're just talking about a lot of times. You ain't bringing a fresh box. I still like what's in the box, but you're not bringing a fresh box. So stop acting brand new. Stop acting brand new. Anyway, let's close it out, inshallah. Thank you for coming on, brother Mustafa Gordon. As always, inshallah, we need to get another rap battle going on, man. I want to go at you with these bars, man, inshallah.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to have another battle, man.
Everything. Yeah. Because may Allah, keep us strong. May Allah make this thing a good for us. And may Allah remove our mistakes in this podcast. And may Allah, make this a benefit in his cause.
Besides the jokes and what some may find vulgar, we didn't say anything vulgar. We said what was real. We said what was real. So may Allah Ta'ala reward you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And this has been EX-FAKTLY. We have reset the table. Assalamu alaikum to you all. May Allah bless you. And I guess it's appropriate to end with subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayk wal asr. Inna al insana la fi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. Ameen.